Beach also has a seedier side. Ridgewood Avenue, it runs north to south. It's a place where narcotics are readily available.
Many struggling with homelessness, addiction, mental health issues are regularly out here.
It's known for prostitution.
Laquita Gunther was found naked, shot in the head in a narrow alleyway off Ridgewood Avenue, not far from her haunts.
She was found on her knees, face down. She was naked, except for she was wearing a pair of socks. Male sperm was found inside of her mouth. She had what appeared to be a gunshot wound to the back of her head.
Julie Green was found murdered, shot in the head.
The scene was similar to Laquita Gunther's scene. She was found face down. She was found naked as well. She also appeared to have been shot once in the back of the head.
Iwana Patton's body had been found in a wooded lot.
Miss Patton's naked, found only wearing socks. And then like Laquita Gunther and Julie Green, Miss Patton was also shot once in the head. With the third victim, it was clear that we had a serial killer in Daytona Beach.
3 women were shot to death in remote areas between December of 2005 and February 2006. 56-year-old David Lindsay was wanted for murder in Illinois. By virtue of his proximity, authorities say they have to call Lindsay a person of interest too.
He drove to the site of an abandoned church.
A passing police officer on the TV check smelled something foul, perhaps only because of the wind.
Ended up being the body of a female, Stacy Gage.
Thanks for coming today. We have some breaking news in the Daytona serial killer case.
The 4 victims, Laquita Gunther, Julie Green, Iwana Patton, and Stacy Gage, were found shot to death between December 2005 and January 2008. And at that time, police said the suspect's DNA was in the national database, so they could match it if he were to be caught committing another crime anywhere else.
Suspect's name is Robert Tyrone Hayes. We have linked him through forensic evidence to 3 of our murder victims.
Drugs and drug paraphernalia spilling out of this motel, officers say. This is body camera video they gave us of one of the recent raids at 6 mini motels in Daytona Beach. Police tell us they've discovered so much of the city's crime is stemming from the motels. These are the calls for service just at the Sun Plaza Motel on US 1. 17 pages over the past 3 years, most of them in 2020. Overdoses, fights, disturbances, trespassers, vandalism, warrants, shootings, and murder. And there are only 8 units here.
It got so bad that we got to a point where we had 2 people shooting at each other. We had to station police out here after that.
For the people who live around them.
And what we're hearing from people is, folks that want to walk their kids to the bus stop, folks that want to walk to the store, and they're being harassed by people who either want to sell them drugs.
A shooting spree in Daytona Beach. A man accused of killing 3 people, including his roommate.
He said that he was shocked. He said his brother was just walking down the street, wasn't trying to get involved, and he ended up getting shot and then later died at a hospital. 3 people were killed early Wednesday morning on Park Drive in Daytona Beach.
We got one in the arm, one in the face. Oh, Lord.
Police say the first victim, 43-year-old Antoine Melvin, was the suspect's roommate and found in the kitchen. The second victim, 65-year-old John Birch, was a neighbor. The third victim, Patrick Lassiter, was shot while walking to a nearby store.
This mother says crime has gotten so bad in her neighborhood, she won't let her kids play in the front yard.
I'm afraid of what's going to happen across the street.
Now she says police are taking action and cleaning things up. Today, we went along with police in Daytona Beach as they cracked down on drug dealing, trespassing, and prostitution.
Anywhere in Daytona Beach, a man's behind bars accused of shooting someone over $10. Police say he opened fire from a moving car, hitting another man.
It's been a deadly year so far in that city. 10 people have been killed in Daytona Beach, and the year is only half over.
So many people here in Daytona Beach now have been affected by gun violence, and you can hear the frustration in their voices. Today, police here released the body cam video of them arresting the suspect in yesterday's shooting.
This arrest right here is why a Daytona Beach police officer is now under investigation. Video shows him punching a suspect in handcuffs.
Daytona Beach police say they have arrested a woman after 4 people were shot outside a busy nightclub early yesterday morning.
Who was believed to be Carla Bermudez, opened fire following an argument with several people on Seabreeze Boulevard. While everybody is expected to be okay, both people and police continue to plead with everybody to stop this violence. The suspect is being charged with attempted murder tonight.
I'm Molly Reed, your Volusia County community correspondent. The sheriff here in Volusia County says it was a chaotic weekend with a pop-up unsanctioned event that brought thousands to Daytona Beach during spring break. His office alone, he says, arrested 130 people just on the sand on the beach. He says this event started on the beach and then spilled into the city. But when the crowds got to land, it was more chaotic. This video shows one of 4 shootings Daytona Beach police are investigating from Saturday night. This one on Main Street. There was also a shooting on Seabreeze Boulevard beachside and 2 shootings mainland in the city.
The man accused of stabbing a woman to death in her Daytona Beach home and later setting it on fire, killing her baby, was booked into jail overnight.
Police in Daytona Beach, frustrated by violent crime in the community, teamed with ATF to get bad guys off the streets.
These are the people that will kill you in the blink of an eye. These are the people that destroy our community.
Local, state, and federal agents hit the streets in Daytona Beach hard for 1 year. Undercover agents at tremendous risk targeting violent criminals, and in the end, 29 suspects were arrested. Career offenders peddling dope, carrying high-powered weapons, including machine guns, sawed-off shotguns. 22 of these prosecuted federally. The operation, say officials, sends a powerful message.
Police arrest a man in connection with a double homicide out of Daytona Beach that has a South Florida connection.
He is 19-year-old Damon Kemp, tonight facing 2 counts of second-degree murder. The 2 victims, both just 19, attended high school in Palm Beach County, and we're learning one of the young men, Trey Ingram, was living in Daytona Beach, while the other victim, Jordan Payton, was visiting at the time of their murder.
Both young men had bright futures ahead of them before being fatally shot in Daytona Beach.
An arrest months in the making. A Volusia County woman is now locked up, accused of murdering her live-in boyfriend back in July.
His body was found last July, rotting inside this home, the arms and legs chopped off and missing. But who killed 55-year-old Jeffrey Albertsman was a mystery until now.
She was very possessive of him. She would follow him to work. She followed him back home.
Spring break chaos in Daytona Beach. 4 shootings in just 24 hours. This is video from one of those shootings Saturday night. It started as a fight, and then you heard those gunshots. One woman there was hit by a bullet. She was one of 3 people shot in those 4 shootings.
And we also saw this in Daytona this weekend, video of a crowd of people running for cover.
Women that didn't have tops on and string thongs, people standing in front of us wouldn't let us move. My kids are all in the vehicle with us.
Minutes later, she watched from the balcony as people ran from what they thought were gunshots. The weekend ended with over 80 arrests for open containers, underage drinking, marijuana, and in some cases, illegal guns.
We arrested people from Alabama, from Georgia, from North Carolina, from South Carolina, from Florida, you name it. Everybody was here.
In addition to that, there were a total of 4 shootings in the area on Saturday alone. 3 people were hit. 2 teens and a 59-year-old man. No suspects have been named and no arrests have been made yet.
We probably will not be coming back to Daytona because of
This is the scene of the crime, Mary McLeod Bethune Boulevard and Weaver Street. Police say Kevin Stokes was driving a BMW with others in his car, pursuing the victim's vehicle until the victim's vehicle crashed here.
I'm glad he's off the streets and he can't be a menace anymore out here.
Police say Stokes was arrested because someone was not only hurt but killed. Investigators say the victim, 19-year-old Damon Karn, was in a vehicle being pursued by Stokes. When Karn's car crashed, Karns got out and ran down Weaver Street, and police say, firing from the vehicle, Stokes shot the victim in the back.
He's a murderer. He's a criminal.
It's been 10 days since that man was found gunned down, but police tell me today that they not only found but arrested the person who pulled the trigger. Henderson is accused of fatally shooting 49-year-old Alan Dexter Johnson, seen here on his Facebook page. On March 4th, police say the men were arguing before Henderson pulled the trigger multiple times. Johnson tried driving away with his 2 passengers, but ended up stomping on Magnolia Avenue. Henderson disappearing until now. Police tell me they've had 3 homicides this year, and after after this latest arrest, all of them have been solved. In Daytona Beach,
Also breaking tonight, police have arrested a person of interest in an afternoon shooting that left one person dead. That shooting happened this afternoon on Nova Road near Bellevue Boulevard. Investigators released surveillance video of the suspect's car.
The Daytona Beach Police Department says just before 2 p.m. Wednesday, several people called dispatch reporting to have heard gunshots in the area. When officers arrived at South Nova Road and Bellevue Avenue, they say the victim's vehicle had been hit several times by bullets. Officers shut down the southbound lanes while collecting evidence. Investigators say the adult male victim died from his injuries at nearby Halifax Medical Center. Detectives say evidence suggests the victim was stopped at the intersection when the suspect's vehicle pulled up alongside him, with at least one person firing into the victim's vehicle.
The body of a woman who was dumped alongside of I-95 near Port Orange has finally been identified. Fox 35's Marley Capper has more on how this cold case was cracked.
That the woman on the side of the road was a 25-year-old woman named Pamela K. Whitman.
For 43 years, Pamela Whitman's remains were nameless.
Pamela left her home in Indiana to come to Daytona Beach to start a new life.
On November 5th, 1980, her body was found. At the time, examiners believed she was killed 4 to 6 months before she was actually found, and then they had no way to identify her body. Convicted serial killer Gerald Stano.
And like I said, he admitted to 41 killings in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Florida.
Stano was sentenced to 8 life sentences and 3 life sentences, ultimately being put to death in 1998.
Within the past hour, Daytona Beach police issued a warrant for an 18-year-old.
They say he is wanted in connection to the killing of a 19-year-old earlier this month.
3 people are shot. They're laying on the ground.
Okay, and where's the person that shot them?
He's gone.
He's a convicted felon with a history of violence and weapons. As we said earlier, he went there around 2:15 this morning to murder 3 people. The victims were involved in a drug operation with him, and he was upset. He thought they were ripping him off and stealing from him. And he was upset. He was going on their intent to shoot them and kill them.
About what led up to the murder of 2 young men in Daytona Beach.
Daytona Beach police responded to the Happy Holiday Motel for a suspicious incident of a man crawling around the parking lot Saturday night. Police say the hotel manager heard a pounding knock on his door, only to find 34-year-old Jeffrey Shusky covered in blood, not saying a word. Officers arrived and found Shusky unresponsive with a knife near his body and a stab wound to his stomach. On Monday, police arrested 32-year-old Tarek Minani for first-degree felony murder.
An officer shot and killed a suspect after he was stabbed in the face during a struggle.
Employees called police again. He says a Volusia deputy happened to be here at the time, and when the Daytona Beach officer got here, they both tried to grab the suspect's arms. That's when Chief Young says the suspect pulls a knife out and cuts the officer, and the officer fires 2 shots at him.
Just after 7:30, that's when Daytona Beach police arrived here at the corner of Oak and Franklin. They say 36-year-old Fausto Hernandez was standing near the doorway of his home when 15 to 20 shots were fired from a passing car. They say one of them hit Hernandez in the head. He was killed just steps away from where his 2 children were. They say the rest of the bullets hit his home and a window close by.
This bird's eye view from Chopper 2 shows where it all ended for a man with a host of charges, including murder in El Paso, Texas, and kidnapping in New Mexico. 38-year-old Jason Gibson was caught after a brief chase in Daytona Beach, along with his stolen Nissan Sentra. A U.S. Marshal spotted Gibson as he headed south on South Ridgewood Avenue. Gibson is wanted in Texas for a triple shooting that killed an El Paso man and injured the victim's wife and son on Thanksgiving Day. In addition to the out-of-state charges he faces, Gibson also has been charged with 2 counts of aggravated assault for crashing into 2 law enforcement vehicles. In Volusia County,
Daytona Beach Police Chief Craig Capri says the toddler's mother, 26-year-old Devisha Pugh, first told them the 2.5-year-old seen here with rescuers was hit by a stray bullet as they lay together on a bed in their Jean Street apartment. The mother said as much in her call for help.
Yes, I have emergency 507 Jean Street. Someone just shot through my room window and my baby is shot.
When police found no bullet holes in any windows, they say Pugh then told them there was a gun in the bed and that the toddler must have shot herself. Again, Not true, say police. That information, that the mother, Pugh, accidentally shot her child, was bolstered during her first appearance at shelter hearing. The child allegedly said her mother shot her, and a DCF investigator said he spoke with a doctor from Arnold Palmer, where the child was flown for care. The investigator testified the doctor told him the child was actually shot twice in the leg, near impossible for a toddler to do.
A beach man who police say confessed to killing his wife has been indicted by a grand jury on a charge of first-degree premeditated murder. Today, Johan Chiri made another court appearance, but as Watch 2's Claire Metz reports, the suspect made no bizarre outburst this time.
Remember the Cincinnati case? They could have got it from the CIA, the whole truth. They didn't see the same thing with any case. It's just about money.
Man, please,
about
you need to stay back.
That's all it is. Everything's about revolving money.
Chiri's accused of stabbing his wife, cutting her throat in an apartment on University Boulevard, then taking off. The couple's children, 10 and 12-year-old girls, found their mother dead in bed and called police. Neighbors told investigators Chiri frequently bullied his wife. Police actually responded to the apartment the night before the murder for a verbal altercation, but his wife refused to press charges and Chiri was not arrested.
Cameras and lights will line the streets of Daytona Beach. City leaders hope it will help cut down on shootings in the area.
Incidents involving noise, petty crime, fights, guns on Seabreeze Boulevard aren't lost on leaders who have already rolled back bar hours and are preparing to open a police substation just off the boulevard. Now they're working to add more cameras.
I wondered if she were here today, if her spirit could have been with us. That was my first thought. So, and then we made eye contact.
Wanda Little says she locked eyes with Michael Townsend as he faced a judge for the murder of Little's older sister, Linda. Little was last seen leaving a bar and riding her bike down International Speedway Boulevard in 1991. Daytona Beach police say nearly 30 years later, Townsend, who was already serving life in prison, confessed he met Little at a hotel bar and killed her. But her body has yet to be found.
They met, they were enjoying a few drinks together, and then something that happened that, in his words, just caused them to snap.
It would be another 2 years before a grand jury would indict Townsend. Police telling News 6 they have evidence backing his confession.
Townsend, you're here on a warrant for first-degree murder.
Wanda Little tells me she has forgiven Townsend and is keeping a tight hold on the memory of her sister.
She loved everybody. She loved her family. And she's been missed for a long time.
Say it appears this was a home invasion where one person was killed and another was left seriously injured. Police say they got the call right around 4 o'clock this morning about a shooting here on the 600 block of Westmoreland Road. When they got here to the scene, they found a man and a woman had been shot at this home. The two were taken to the hospital where one of them later died. Now you can see detectives walking into the home. This was around 9 o'clock this morning. They were able to collect what appears to be evidence from the home, and they kept the majority of the street blocked off with yellow crime scene tape as they worked the scene. So far, police haven't said anything about a possible suspect, but back out here, we are going to reach out to the police department to find out more information.
Well, Kirsten, we know one man is dead after being shot right outside the shopping plaza behind me. Daytona Beach police say it appears he was targeted. Here's what we know right now. Officers first got the call around 12:30 near D-Town Supermarkets. Police say when they got here, they found the man lying on the sidewalk shot. The victim was rushed to a local hospital where he died. Now,
Anya Jackson is dealing with a whirlwind of emotions. She says her 16-year-old son, Frederick Cooper, was just walking a friend home when he was shot and killed. Even the police chief emotional while talking about the teen's death.
The grand jury in Putnam County has indicted a man in the murder of a pregnant Daytona Beach woman found dead and partially burned in a cemetery there nearly 8 years ago. Shakira Pinckney was 22 when she left home, then disappeared after posting an ad on Backpage.com.
It's a parent's worst nightmare.
Herbert Pinckney says his daughter Shakira Pinckney was a real joy. She'd recently moved back to her parents' home in Daytona Beach, pregnant and with 2 young daughters, to be closer to family. August 30th, 2015, Shakira went out and never came home. Days later, her badly burned body was found in a Putnam County cemetery. Investigators say she'd been gagged, killed, then set on fire.
Police in Daytona Beach are investigating a deadly shooting that happened early this morning shooting not far from where thousands of people are in town for Bike Week. Officers say that one man was killed and one woman was hurt. Police say officers were already nearby when they got a call about a shooting near Mary McLeod Bethune Boulevard and Pearl Street. They found a man from Daytona Beach who had been shot in the chest. Officers say that he later died at the hospital. Police say that a woman who was grazed by a bullet later showed up at the hospital. She is expected to survive. Investigators say they believe the shooting is not related to Bike Week. A man is now in jail accused of shooting 3 people at a bar in Daytona Beach.
At a shopping plaza on South Nova Road, cars were pausing as they passed South Turn Sports Bar and Grill, seeming to stare at the damage left behind from a shooting that injured 3 people Friday night. Folks tell us it's the kind of local place with a lot of regulars. Daytona Beach police arrested 28-year-old Anthony Kaznikoff, and he was booked into jail on a number of charges, including 3 counts of attempted felony murder and 1 count of using a firearm while under the influence of alcohol.
Daytona Beach police officer Jason Rayner, shot in the head 2 months ago, passed away earlier this evening.
Officer Rayner's fellow officers escorted his body from Halifax Medical Center to the Volusia County Medical Examiner's office. We interrupt your regular programming to bring you live coverage out of Volusia County. Right now, Othel Wallace is being sentenced for killing Daytona Beach police officer Jason Rayner. The judge is about to announce how long he will spend in jail for manslaughter. Last weekend, he was one of the 2 teenagers right here from our area who was murdered in Daytona Beach. News Channel 5's Tanya Rogers reports that one of the parents knows firsthand all about tragedy. She actually works with those who have suffered losses. She told her story.
Narissa Carter Young talking about her son, 19-year-old Trey Ingram. The man accused of the murders in Daytona Beach is behind bars, arrested over the weekend. Now this mother, whose organization helps families cope with loss due to violence, is dealing with her own tragedy.
Just off Williamson Boulevard in Daytona Beach lies a secret that's haunted one family for more than 3 decades. Jacob Cockcroft, the grandson of 76-year-old Hazel Fenty, says his grandmother's case has never stopped weighing on his family.
There's a very small window where we know when she was murdered. The last person to see her alive was the pastor of the church.
He remembers visiting her in Florida as a child.
Her house was very tidy, but full of things that she collected.
Police say Fenty was murdered on her 76th birthday in 1992. They believe she was sexually assaulted and killed, and her killer has never been found. The family's hope was renewed in 2017 after they watched another cold case get solved through genetic genealogy. They pushed investigators to take another look.
Outside the park at Ravello apartment homes, helicopter video shows the moment Jackson jumps into this pond.
He's in the water.
Before deputies arrested him.
There was an anonymous tip about a vehicle which led to his arrest. So anything that comes out, if the community knows any little piece of anything, details like that may be very important to us.
Jackson faces charges including fleeing and eluding at a high speed, illegal drug possession, and driving with a suspended license, in addition to charges from Volusia County. Jackson remains locked up here at the Seminole County Jail. It's not clear when he will face that Volusia County murder charge in connection to Williams' shooting death.
Right now, we know Damon Kemp is sitting behind bars here facing 2 counts of second-degree murder. Investigators say he's also tied to an armed home invasion they say also happened this week, and he's facing charges in that case too. This all happening as we're finding out more about the victims. We just got this mugshot for 19-year-old Damon Kemp. He's locked up, police say, for shooting and killing 19-year-old cousins Jordan Payton and Trey Ingram. John Giles is Trey's older brother.
He was joyful. He had a personality that naturally attracted people.
Memories he's now sadly forced to cherish. He said his brother chose a more positive path compared to many of his friends back home in West Palm Beach.
Which is how he ended up in Bethune-Cookman. He wanted to get away, go to college, and pursue something differently.
Well, I can tell you that police just released new information, and they told us that they are actively searching for the person who did this. Now, they just released the name of the victim who unfortunately passed away this morning. They say this was an 18-year-old man named Adolphus Butler, and they say he was shot and killed at the Northwood Village 2 apartment complex along 9th Street. And when we arrived to the neighborhood this morning, we noticed several people outside believed to be family members. Now, Captain Tricia Loomis with Daytona Beach Police says the suspect may have left riding a bicycle, which is something that they are trying to figure out right now.
Chitwood says it took 20 years to uncover the truth. He says 16-year-old Autumn McClure was dropped off by her boyfriend at the Seabreeze Bridge in 2004, and her family never saw her again. This week, crews worked to dig up what are likely her remains.
Pending positive identification, which we should get here very shortly.
Over the years, detectives kept checking on the case, and it wasn't until 2021 that they got a major break. A call from a man saying an associate of his confessed to killing Autumn.
He basically tells the detective, I gotta get this off my chest.
The associate's name was Brian Donnelly. 1 year after that phone call, Donnelly died following a medical procedure.
She also goes on to tell us that she came home one afternoon and saw Brian choking Autumn in the bathroom. When by the time she intervened, she saw that Autumn was lifeless, and she left the house. She left the trailer.
After peeping out of the window, that's when I heard the pow, 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 pow.
Residents at Lakeside Village Apartments were startled from their sleep after hearing several rounds of gunfire early Sunday morning. Daytona Beach Police says when officers arrived, they found one person dead. Shortly after, they learned 3 more victims were at the hospital.
I didn't like a lot of teenagers, a lot of young people, you know what I'm saying? And we were just having a party, you know. They had a party last week, and another one this week.
As soon as they heard the shots, neighbors saw several cars speed away.
For about the last 3 weeks, they've been gathering, drinking, and doing their little thing. You know, young folks, you know, they don't stay here.
And they tell us it's disturbing their peace.
Still unsafe. Some mothers have lost their child, and here it is, Palm Sunday, you know.
It's a whole lot of children and family that do live here, so it's scary.
Daytona Beach Police need your help this afternoon. They now say a 49-year-old man with mental health issues was murdered.
Yeah, this is the man who police say was missing for 3 days until he returned home to his roommate, disheveled and covered in dried blood. He was later found dead in the bathroom.
You can hear the emotion in Parnell Robinson's caretaker's voice when she tells a 911 operator paramedics can come into her home Saturday afternoon. She says she found the 49-year-old unresponsive on the bathroom floor. 12 hours earlier, at about 3:30 in the morning, she says he showed up on her porch, beaten and bloodied.
He's got so many injuries on him. When he goes, I don't know where he goes.
Now autopsy results show his death was a homicide.
Port Orange police say the victim was found laying outside his house about 10:30 last night. He'd been stabbed in the chest and was rushed to the hospital, but he died there. The investigation led police to the victim's girlfriend.
She was yelling, "Oh God," over and over again.
Neighbors in the Parkwood Mobile Home Park heard a commotion in and out of this home on Orchid Lane. They have since learned it was trouble between the couple who live here. 40-year-old Cindy Sue Gilliland is accused of stabbing her boyfriend of several months in a fit of anger. She was arrested this afternoon.
The lady that lives there was outside just crying, like horribly. It was horrible.
Police say Gilliland, who has been divorced for several years from Daytona Beach City Commissioner Rob Gilliland, had been arguing with boyfriend Bradley Stratman. The suspect briefly went to a neighbor's house, but returned to the one she shared with Stratman.
Now, Daytona Beach police say that the shooting started after an argument between the gunman and the 24-year-old victim, Bashan Johnson. Police responded to the scene after 911 calls about shots being fired in the area late last night. They say Johnson was inside of his car when he got shot and killed. Witnesses in the area say they heard several shots being fired.
New this morning, the man who Daytona Beach police say shot and killed another man after an argument has turned himself in. Police say 28-year-old Rashad Mincy, who you see here, shot 25-year-old Gerard Swinton in the chest last night on Garden Street. That's roughly 2 blocks west of Bethune-Cookman University. Swinton had surgery but died a short time later. Mincy is now charged with first-degree murder. Also new this morning, the man accused of killing a Bethune-Cookman University student and injuring 2 others after another shooting has now been indicted on first-degree murder charges. Lamont Postel Jr. is charged in the shooting death of 23-year-old Don Kevius Johnson after a fight at an off-campus party at the Indigo Lakes Golf Club last month. Postel is also charged with 2 counts of attempted first-degree murder in the shooting of 2 other students. He will be arraigned on March 16th.